everyone, and welcome back to my channel once again. Hope you're all doing good. And today in this video I'm going to talk about the feelings that we experience or we can experience during the phase of Ketu. Ketu, as we all know, is a planet which represents moksha, liberation. It represents detachment in one's life. It can denote sudden changes. It can represent painful experiences, very unpredictable scenarios, unwilling changes in native's life. So Ketu's period offers the lesson of detachment. It wants us to understand the purpose of detachment in our lives. How to detach yourself from your desires, your wishes, comfort, attachments. Because usually what happens that we start thinking that this is what life is all about. And whenever we think this way, Ketu's period acts like a very strong force. It can have a very strong say and intervention in these matters because it wants to give you a reality check that if you're thinking this way, then maybe you're too naive and too ignorant to understand the reality of life, because you are thinking that this temporary accumulation is the reality of life, but you are yet to experience the reality of life, and that can only happen with spiritual evolution. So whenever we choose to hang in too much around the temporary factors of life, Ketu's period tries to kill those factors. It tries to shut those matters. It's like a slap. Because all we have learned since childhood is to form desires, ambitions, this want, that wish. And we have never ever learned how to practice detachment, how to be okay with not having what you always wanted in your life, whatever your wish was. So when we are surviving Ketu's period, it feels very different, and which is why it looks very difficult to survive this period, because we were never prepared that way, because we never wanted to interact with the reality of life, that everything is very temporary and we shouldn't become overly attached to anything in our lives. And Ketu's message, Ketu's lesson is exactly this, that don't hold on to anything too much for a very long time. Don't become too attached to these temporary factors of life, because these factors are just deluding you to an extent that you refuse to have a reality check. And which is why Ketu's period acts like a very strong force, so that it can give you that reality check which we all need. So there is no doubt about the fact that difficult times, painful experiences are part and parcel of Ketu's period. In fact, it is a part and parcel of life. It's just that in Ketu's period, we learn about these things in a very direct and blatant manner, because Ketu's period carries a harsh tone, and which is why it offers harsh experiences. So only by going through these hurtful experiences, we can get acquainted with the reality, and we can embrace the reality, because sometimes we know the reality, but it becomes very difficult to accept that. Let's say you were very, very attached to someone, and for so and so reason you lost that person. Now you already know that this person is not going to be there in your life, but you need to bring that acceptance. So sometimes, as I said, that we know the reality, but it becomes very difficult to embrace the fact. So Ketu's period tries to give you those difficult times which can help you to rise above these matters, to rise above these feelings, which kind of deludes you in a way. We can't say what is right and wrong. We definitely can't put these things in black and white, but anything that is keeping us deluded for a very long time, and it tries to detach us from the ultimate purpose of life. So that is not very healthy, because that is trying to interrupt the flow of life, the basic flow of life. So that's why Ketu's period carries a very strong message. And just because we go through so many difficult times and tough experiences during this period, we can feel very low, because there is a sudden shift of energy that we feel in this period, and it's like the whole flow gets changed. So we just don't know what to do. So you can feel and experience that sudden shift of energy, and which you need to contain and act upon. It's like if you will engross yourself in spiritual practices at that time, or maybe sitting in peace, meditating, because this is the time when we start looking for answers. So do not try to close that sight, that if you are, let's say, if you're seeking answers, if you want to look for answers, then try to do something about it. If you are wanting to be on a pilgrimage tour, please go and try to travel, and maybe it will give you a sense of peace, contentment. So during Ketu's time period, it acts like a turbulence in our lives, because it's like a stirring that is happening. A lot of things are getting cleared, so it cannot offer you stability that way. Of course, peace will come once this period is gone, or maybe during this period as well. Depends what is the placement of this planet in your chart, but it cannot offer you stability like Guru, because Guru is also it's a spiritual planet. But Guru has a different way of helping you to grow spiritually. It wants you to gain knowledge, it wants you to contain knowledge. But Ketu's period gives you experiences that help you to detach, and it can help you to grow spiritually suddenly. It's like, I have seen a lot of people saying that this period taught me so many things that I never learned during my entire life. So Ketu's period is more about practical experiences that we experience. So I think when you feel low, when you feel lost, when you feel like going inward, please go inward, because this is the only thing that is going to help you during this period. Because if you will try to distract yourself during Ketu's period, it's not at all going to help. In fact, the tough times that we are talking about, it can get extended, because ultimately you are not learning, ultimately you are not trying to collect the message which this planet has to offer. So your difficult times can extend. So your approach shouldn't move towards distraction if you're trying to deal with Ketu's period, because it's just like that I'm hurt, and instead of healing my wound, I'll go out, I'll have fun, and I'll try to distract myself. So it's just the same thing that you can do in Ketu's period. If you're trying to distract yourself, and if you're trying to overlook the message, if you're trying to overlook the importance of detachment and gaining contentment, then you might just miss on the whole message that this period has to offer. So my suggestion to you all would be to seriously meditate during Ketu's period. Chant mantras, go on some pilgrimage tour if you want, keep praying, sit and introspect yourself. This is how you would be able to catch up with this time, and this is how you would be able to understand the importance and purpose of this time. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. If you liked it, don't forget to hit like, and very soon I'll return with a new topic. Please take good care of yourself.